Are you considering selling an investment property? What's going on, y'all? It's Zap with the Martin Group, and I want to talk about selling an investment property. I got asked the question from someone who's thinking about selling their investment property, and so I'm walking them through the process, and I thought I'd make a video to explain that to you in case you have a property that's being rented, or someone's couple properties that are being rented, or you have an Airbnb that you're considering selling, what you'll need to prepare to sell that property. So there's 7 forms, 7 papers that you'll need to sell it, and then some numbers that we'll need. Let's start with the paperwork. I wrote an R to indicate that the realtor, me, will help you get these things in brown, the R's, and then the black, you'll need to provide to me. So for the R, the first thing is preliminary title report. We'll get that from the title company just to make sure we have all the title information on your property. 2, the transfer disclosure statement, and 3, the seller property questionnaire. I'll grab those forms and hand them to you. Those forms are designed so you can fill them out and explain and answer any questions about the property, anything you've done to the property, improvements, problems, solutions, all of those get answered on the TDS and SPQ forms. So the fourth thing is profit and loss statement. That is a statement that you should be keeping track of how much money you're making and how much money you're spending in expenses. Things like landscaping, maybe, things like electricity, if you're paying the electricity, maintenance, right? You wanna have a statement that answers those questions. Fifth thing is the lease agreement. So the actual original lease agreement that you signed and that the tenant signed, we're gonna need a copy of that before we get ready to sell your property. And the sixth thing here is maintenance records. So hopefully you've been keeping good track of, if you replace the roof, if you replace the windows, if you remodeled the kitchen, those records. Usually your tax person has that because you try to deduct those on taxes, but if they don't, chat with me, we'll see how we can research those records. And then the last thing is a tenant Estoppel certificate. I'll explain that and walk you through what that is, but that just helps curb any kind of questions between what exactly you and the tenant have agreed upon during the rental period. Couple numbers that we're concerned with. One is monthly rent. You want to know how much you're bringing in a month for rent. Rooms or units that you have. 2, the occupancy percentage, right? Do you rent your place 90% of the time, 80% of the time for each year? And then last is the cap rate. Now you may not know this, I can help walk you through this, but essentially it's your net operating income. So not your gross, but how much you net, how much you take home in cash after you pay all your expenses, divided by whatever we're gonna decide to sell the property for. And for different places in the country, this is gonna be different, right? In California, a great cap rate could be 4%, 4.5%, 5%, but that same cap rate in Kansas City, Missouri is trash, right? So we want the properties I have in Kansas City, I want those to be 10+ cap rates, but the properties I have in California, I'm very happy if it's a 5 cap. So we'll go through all of these things if you're preparing or thinking about selling a house so we can get you the most amount of money for the property that you have that is an investment property.